Hello and welcome to the Business Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Holly Worton. I've been an entrepreneur since 1999, and I know firsthand how difficult it can be to build a business without the right mindset. This is a podcast for those of us who struggle with showing up in our business with confidence and authenticity, who resist taking big action because of fears and doubts, who know deep down that it's possible to create something bigger, and yet you're not. This podcast combines powerful strategies on how to upgrade your business mindset, along with practical business tips to grow your business more easily in a way that feels aligned. This podcast features solo shows with me and also interviews with inspiring women entrepreneurs from around the world, including my monthly co-hosted episodes with Joe Casey. My goal is to help you grow your business more quickly and easily by transforming your mindset. For me, mindset work is a lifelong practice, and I want to help you make a habit out of mindset work. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Hello and welcome to the Business Mindset Podcast, episode 256. This is your host, Holly Worton, and I'm back with another solo episode. Today, I'm going to talk about summer and the solstice and what this means for your business. So this is one of those Wheel of the Year episodes where I talk about how nature links up with the seasons and business and how you can incorporate these different cycles of the year into your business. This episode is also a huge experiment because I'm recording it outside. I am at the house, which if you listen to episode 253 with Joanna Hennon, you will know what I'm talking about. So I'm outdoors in the garden. I'm sitting at a table looking out over this expansive field of wheat, which is just so gorgeous. Trees to my right, grass beneath my feet, plants all around me. It's just green and beautiful. There's also a bit of a breeze, so that may interfere with the sound for this. There are also birds, as I'm sure you can hear. So as I said, this is an experiment. I did an outdoors episode last year when I was walking the Way South path for the second time. And so I look forward to hearing your feedback on what you think of having nature sounds in the background. This is not something I would do on a regular basis, but do let me know. Do you want more of this? Do you never want me to do this again? I'm open to your feedback because you're the one who's listening to this. So in this episode, as I said, we're going to talk about summer, the solstice, and what this means in terms of cycles in business. So the summer solstice is all about integration, balance. It's a good time to review the first part of the year, what lies ahead. It's a time for cleansing, manifestation, getting out there in the sun, enjoying life and all of its beauty as we move into this part of the year. Now, as I record this, it's not very sunny. It's a bit gray and overcast, but yesterday was a glorious summer day. Sunshine all day long. I went for a walk in the evening. Here in the UK, it stays light until quite late in the summer, so I just had an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous summer day. So summer is very much something that's on my mind. So let's get into it. Summer. This is a perfect opportunity to review the past year. What does that mean? It's a good time to sit down with your journal or whatever it is you use to kind of record your thoughts. You could do this handwritten in a journal, in a notebook. You could do this in a document on your computer. You could record yourself talking, whatever works for you. Spend some time reviewing the past half of the year or the past 12 months and think about what worked for you. What worked in your business? What do you want to do more of? What do you want to do less of? What do you need to do more of? Or what do you need to have more of? What do you need less of? What needs to change? What changes do you need to make? And when I say this, this is not just what actions do you need to take, What things do you need to do differently? But it's also about what mindset changes do you need to make? What beliefs do you need to shift? What beliefs do you need to change? What do you need to believe about yourself that you don't currently believe? And this is a good time to think about the year ahead. So the next 6 months, the next 12 months. What do you need to believe about yourself in order to achieve your goals? In order to do the things you want to do with your business and your life? Who do you need to be to achieve these things? And how do you need to do things different? So looking forward at what lies ahead in your business also requires setting some goals. Now, you may have some goals already in place, so now's a good time to reevaluate them. Are they still the right goals for you and your business? Are they still aligned with what you really, really want? And as you set these goals, think about balance. Think about what kind of balance you currently have in your business and life, and what kind of balance you would like to have. Perhaps you'd like to have more time for yourself in the evenings. Perhaps you'd like to start taking full weekends off. Or maybe you'd like to do the opposite and work shorter hours every day. Different things work for different people. So get clear on balance. Whether your current situation really works for you, whether you need to make some changes. And that's a really important thing to take into consideration when you're planning your year, the rest of your year, the next 6-12 months, when you're planning your goals, when you're planning your calendar. I love using Google Calendar to map out my life, and I run my life by Google Calendar. And I love that it's flexible because if I decide to change my mind, I can just drag and drop and move things around. So it's not set in stone, but it does give me a framework. And it does really help me to create that balance. Because I have everything color-coded, color-coordinated. I've got my meals in there so I don't forget to eat, which shockingly I hear that many people do. That hasn't happened to me since I put it in my calendar. And I've got personal stuff color-coded so I can see which stuff is personal and which stuff is business. And that really helps me to kind of see that balance. So if you're a visual person, you might try something like that. So as you're getting ready for the next part of the year, the second half of the year, think about cleansing, because summer's a time for cleansing. What do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to declutter? Now, decluttering is something that I love. I recommend it all the time. But it can be really hard to just get started. So if that's something that you know that you need to do or you want to do, break it down into small chunks. If doing it room by room is too much, break it down into the components of that room. So if you're looking at decluttering your office, maybe just start with your desk drawers, or start with your bookshelf, or start with your files. Start with a small component of that room and then move on, because I find that decluttering can be really challenging for me to start, but once I do start, it really gets the ball going and it just makes it so much easier because it feels so good. And as I've said before, even decluttering personal stuff like your clothes can make big changes at deep levels in your mindset, in your beliefs. It can kind of trigger all kinds of changes in your life in terms of letting go of things that no longer serve you, that you no longer want to have in your life. It's really, really powerful and it's relatively easy to do. You just got to get started. So declutter, let go of the things that you no longer need. And that's not just physical stuff. You can go through your computer, you can clear out files, and you can also declutter business offerings. Are there any products or services that you have on offer that you don't want to offer anymore? Is there any package you have on your website or online course or service or something that when you think about people signing up for it, you don't want to deal with it. You hope no one signs up for it because you really don't want to deliver that service. Then get rid of it. If you have any online courses that you think, they're so old, they've been up there for a while, I'm really not proud of them anymore, get rid of them or upgrade them. declutter your offerings. And this is a good thing to do on a regular basis because oftentimes we accumulate stuff. A lot of us are natural creators and we create books and ebooks and free opt-in gifts and all kinds of resources and stuff that can be quite overwhelming. So look at your opt-in gifts if you still offer those. And just think about which ones are maybe old, need to be updated, need to be just released, decluttered, let go of, and get rid of those. Or one thing you can do is you can make them for free, make them be free. So a while back, I decluttered some of my opt-in gifts by just taking the opt-in off and making them free for just downloading without giving me your email address. And then eventually, a couple of months ago, I've removed all of my opt-ins. So people can go to my resources page now and just download everything without giving me their email. And then if they want to give me their email, they do that specifically for the newsletter. So that was one thing I kind of decluttered, that's a sense of decluttering, that really made me feel better about my business because I started seeing how many people were interested enough in my opt-in gift to go to the landing page, but they weren't interested enough to give me their email. But if they had been able to download it without paying for it with their email, they would have benefited from it, probably. And they might have decided to get something else of mine or get to know me better. So that was the right decision for me. It's not necessarily the right decision for everyone, but it's kind of an example of digital decluttering or business decluttering. And it's worked for me. I'm really, really happy with it. And I probably won't go back to offering things as lead magnets again. Just feels impersonal. I figure if people get to know me and like me, they're going to want to hear from me. And if they don't, they don't. But I'm tired of tricking people into signing up to my list with a free thingy. And in terms of decluttering, also think about what tasks you can declutter by outsourcing. I recently did an episode number 247 on outsourcing, which was quite lengthy, and people found it really useful. So if you're struggling with knowing what to outsource or how to outsource, that's a good one to listen to. And outsourcing is a fantastic way of decluttering because you're getting rid of the tasks that need to be done, but not by you necessarily. And it really frees up your time to do other things. And as I say in that episode, I've been really good about outsourcing because in my first business, I had a huge team of employees. And so I was used to outsourcing things to other people because I had a big staff of people to help me and support me. But one of the things that took me forever to outsource was my bookkeeping. I had an accountant who did my taxes, but I would do all of my bookkeeping and I hated it. Until this year, I got Xero, hired a bookkeeper to sort out all my paper stuff, and everything is set up and perfect. And it's taken a massive weight off my shoulders. It was a massive upgrade for me, and it was relatively inexpensive. It was certainly much less expensive than doing it myself, assuming I would have had to pay myself my hourly fee to do my bookkeeping. It was ridiculous that I was doing it for myself. So think about what things that you dread in your business you could get help with. And I know some people are not fans of business swaps or service swaps, but I do think they can be really, really useful, especially if you're just starting out. So if there's something that you can get help with and offer your services in exchange for someone else's, that can be a good way to get you started in the world of outsourcing and getting help with the things that you want to do. So I do recommend it, especially with bookkeeping. If you have a friend who's a bookkeeper, see if they're interested in doing a swap. If not, just pay them. It's so worth it if you can afford it. And it's probably less money than you think. And that's the thing, when we outsource things, it will take the specialist much less time to do the thing than it would take you to do the thing yourself because it's not your specialty and you hate it. So that's enough on outsourcing. You can go visit that episode 247 if you want to learn more. So as you're decluttering, as you're releasing, as you're letting go of the things that you no longer want to have in your business and life, think again about what you do want. What do you want to manifest? What do you want to create in your business and life? What do you want to have? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? How do you want things to be different? What do you want to experience? How do you want to feel? This is all stuff you need to be asking yourself as you move forward and plan the next half of the year or the next 12 months. Summer is also a time of extroversion, of getting out there. So how can you apply this to your business, even if you're not naturally an extrovert, which I certainly am not? Be daring. Try something new. Get visible in a bigger way or in a new way. Think about something that you've always wanted to do in your business, but you've never dared to do, or you've always been too afraid to do. Do it. And if you're one of those people who can't feel the fear and do it anyway, which I certainly am not, do the mindset work you need to do to make it easier. So think about that big, daring thing that you want to do, or the small daring thing, the exciting thing that you haven't yet dared to do. Think about that thing, and think about what you would need to believe about yourself in order to make that thing easier. Who do you need to be to step into the reality of doing that thing? And then do the mindset work you need to do to make that action easier. Because stepping outside of our comfort zone and being daring doesn't need to be uncomfortable. I mean, yeah, it can be, but you can make it easier by doing the mindset work. So I feel like I've been kind of all over the board in this episode. I had some notes and I've been kind of jumping around back and forth. So to recap, summer solstice, halfway through the year, what can you do about it? So this is a time of reviewing the past year, seeing what worked, what needs to change. It's about looking at what things you need to declutter and release and let go of. It's about looking at balance. Where do you need or want more balance in your life and business? It's about looking forward to what lies ahead in the year. What do you want to manifest? What do you want to create in your business and life? And it's a time of extroversion, of being daring, of trying something new, of getting visible. So if you find any of this difficult, if you think you're not the planning kind of person, if you like to go with the flow, I would like to encourage you to take advantage of this summer solstice time, of this time of maximum light, of this midpoint in the year, and get outdoors in the sunshine, in the warm weather, and do a little bit of planning. Because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get anywhere? Take the time to plan. You can always adjust, and you should adjust. Because when you're into personal development, deep mindset work, change, transformation, we change a lot. So I think that's why a lot of people resist the idea of having a plan, because they think that they have to stick to the plan and not change and not adapt or adjust. And that's exactly the opposite. Create a plan, set goals, walk toward that vision, and then change, adjust, adapt, be flexible, like your Google Calendar where you can drag and drop stuff. Plans, goals, visions are meant to be flexible, because as you change, your business changes, you have different needs, your business has different needs, and it's important to be flexible so that you can step into your new business identity as you grow and as your business changes. And think about the beliefs that you need to have to do this work. So what beliefs do you need to have to make decluttering, releasing, letting go easier? What beliefs do you need to have to create that balance in your life, in your business? Do you need to believe that you are worthy of balance, that you deserve balance, that you are good enough to have balance? Looking forward to what lies ahead. What beliefs do you need to have about your ability to achieve your goals, to make changes? Manifesting, creating. What beliefs do you need to have about your ability to manifest the things that you want, to achieve your goals, to take the actions you want to take? And what beliefs do you need to have around your ability to be daring, to try something new, to get visible in bigger and different ways, to step out of your comfort zone? Make it easy on yourself by doing the mindset work. as you take action. So as I always say, and I feel like it's been a while since I mentioned this, so I'm going to do it again. The way I talk about doing business is very much like a spiral staircase. You're taking one step with your left foot, you're taking one step with your right foot, you're going up the stairs, and you're getting to different levels. One step is your mindset work, the other step is your practical action work. Mindset work, practical action work, mindset, practical action work. As you move up to new levels of your business and to new levels of your life, and you work through the blocks and the fears and the limiting beliefs as you go by doing the mindset work and by taking the action so that you're moving forward and upwards. So that is all for now. I hope you found this useful. I'm trying to integrate more of the natural cycles into my life and into my business. And that's why I've brought this into the podcast. But as always, I welcome your feedback. Let me know if you love it, hate it, find it useful or not. I'm very much open to receiving your feedback because, again, this podcast is for you because you're listening. So that's all for now. Please drop me a line. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode. You can email me at holly@hollyworton.com or find me online and get in touch. I would also love for you to join me in my private Facebook group, Business Mindset Alchemists, so we can continue the conversation there. Every week I get people, usually on Mondays, popping into the Facebook group, and I'm assuming it's because they've heard the podcast episode and have come over to join. I would love to meet you, get to know you, see you in the Facebook group. So if you head over to hollyworton.com/group, you will be redirected to the Facebook group and you can join. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would mean the world to me, and it takes just a minute. So remember to visit hollyworton.com/256 for the show notes on this episode and links to the other episodes that I mentioned. Thank you so much for listening and have a fantastic day. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the solstice, enjoy the warmth, enjoy the weather, enjoy the thunder, which is rumbling in the sky above me. Not very summery, but there we are. So thanks again and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening to the Business Mindset Podcast. You can find more information about today's episode, including links for the topics that were discussed, at hollyworton.com. If you'd like to connect with other listeners and learn more about business mindset, join my private community for entrepreneurs at hollyworton.com/group. That will redirect you to the Facebook group. And if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to head over to iTunes and leave a quick review of this podcast. It just takes a minute. Thank you so much.